Welcome everyone to the Infinite Star Connections. We're happy to be here as your host. My name is Vivian Chauvet and my friend Jeff Demercier. We want to welcome you to another amazing episode of our show. Just to introduce ourselves, Jeff is the CEO and the Executive Director of the Infinite Voice Project, as well as a Galactic Ambassador and a very wonderful starseed of the Ponte. I am the owner of Infinite Healing from the Stars and co-owners of Energies of Service. I am also known as an Arcturian hybrid, an ambassador, and a frequency healer. And we are very thrilled to be here. So want to welcome everyone who's joining us today. And we are still waiting for our guest, James Gilliland, today. We're hoping that the technical issue can be resolved soon and then nothing happened with his family as we had previously. So let's just bring the energy together. Welcome everyone as we're settling into our beautiful quantum space that we're going to share today. Jeff, always a pleasure to be here with you, my friend.
Same here. Very nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. And welcome everyone who's coming in. Oh, we have people from everywhere. Welcome, welcome. Steve, Paula. We have also Tony coming in, Denisa. We have also people from Denmark. Welcome. We are thrilled to have you here. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. We are very blessed to have you. So as we're settling into the show, we're hoping for our guest, James Gilliland, who agreed to come today, that will come and talk about the ECETI Ranch, different various of ET connections. And speaking of ET connections, well, Jeff and I have plenty of those. I know, Jeff, that you've been working very closely with the UMO as of lately. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm working on their book, and it's almost complete. I'm translating it from Spanish to English and from UMO to English too. So it's about a 700-page book, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through with it. And we're looking to publish it probably August, September timeframe. So I just want to proofread everything, make sure everything is good. We have our own publishing company now called ET Publications, and we're able to. I got an illustrator, and I got a couple of people that can help put books together. People need to get their stories out there. They can contact us through ET Publications at protonmail.com.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Congratulations of the new publishing company. I love it. So on my next upcoming book, we'll know where to go to publish it, right?
Right, you better. You better.
That's awesome. In fact, I have a client from China who's looking for a publisher for her series of Star Traveler Children book, and I recommended you as the publisher, so I'll give you the information.
Wonderful.
Is that amazing? Well, again, everyone, I know we love James too, and I just want to share a quick story. I met James Gilliland about 2 years ago at the Contact in the Desert, and we were sitting next to each other during the Saturday night banquet. And so James and I were connected, and then the next thing you know, he picked up his phone and he said, "I'll show you some pictures I have." I'm like, "Really?" And he started to show me pictures that he's taken on the ECETI Ranch and other pictures of, different ETs, different beings, and then sharing connections, sharing personal experiences with me. That was really amazing. Contact in the Desert. And that is, for those who are out of the country, it's in California, Indian Wells, California. And this year it's going to be virtual, but we're looking forward for next year to come back together, the UFO community and the spiritual community, come back to Contact in the Desert. But that was also my introduction to James, and we had a very powerful exchange and energetic connection on that time. And when we went to Las Vegas a few weeks ago for another conference, I met another lady, Laura, who is within James Gilliland's close circle. And we were talking about, some of the experiences there on the ranch. So definitely, oh, by the way, Jeff, there's a lot of congratulations, great news, amazing message for you in the chat room. So yay, round of applause for the new publishing company. So
Well,
definitely.
I actually published my first book. It's Nancy Tremaine's book, and it's called Enlightened, and it's chapters of her life. You can get that on Amazon, and she's a local woman here that has a story that was it happened to her in the early '60s when she was just like a 12-year-old, and she was missing for a long time, and
Oh,
the Novi police couldn't find her. Everybody in the neighborhood looked for her, and next thing you know, she's on her porch, and they wanted to know what happened. And then the Novi police came there, and there's this craft above their house. They got pictures of the craft. The police verified this craft and everything. So she's got an amazing story. I mean, it sounds kind of wild, but it's I got all the data here. I got all her audios. I got all her pictures. It's all in archive. So it seems like the real deal. She's got verification from the police, the Selfridge, the hospital, everything. So
that,
check out that book, and it's interesting reads.
that's incredible. How old was she when that happened? And she just
She,
disappeared like that one day?
she was 12.
12?
Yeah, nobody could find her. I mean, they looked everywhere. And Novi was not a real populated area at that point in time, but and everybody knew everybody. So it's quite an experience.
That's incredible. I remember, was it last year? Last year in February when we went to San Francisco for a UFO conference, and I was doing a lecture there. I met this woman, beautiful lady, probably mid 70s, late 70s or something like that. In her entire life, she has like stories upon stories of direct interactions with these ET beings, and she'll remember going on board their craft and being, getting messages like showing information about the solar system, other galaxies, the timeline on the Earth, seeing what's coming up for her and also for the Earth and how the timelines unfold, the different potential of how the timeline unfold all at once, and to see which one will be the most probable one. And she wrote a very exhaustive document. She never published it, but it's written a very exhaustive document about her real life stories. And that feels very inspirational because to someone like this person that I think Nancy is her name, the lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Nancy's stories that you are just publishing her book, and the other woman that I met last year in San Francisco, is just to show that there's so many incredible real life experience with other form of with our interstellar of brothers and sisters. And if you put all together, it's just to show how much this earth is like a highway of in an intergalactic highway of communications and movement and interactions with so many people, so many star seeds, contactees, and channels and teachers around the globe. It makes us feel even more part of the matrix. I think for me, it makes me feel much more part of the matrix, to feel like we are truly in intercommunication with each other. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, what's weird about this one is that this happened to her in the early '60s. Okay, and um, the information that she got back then stayed with her whole life. She was she had a hard life because people didn't believe her. Blah 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 blah. But in talking to her, I went over to her house many times, interviewed her. Yeah, I got all the data necessary from her, and we put everything together. But as I'm doing this book, I'm thinking, you know what? That information that you had actually pertains to today. It didn't pertain to the '70s, '80s, or '90s.
Oh,
It was all culminating to this point in time. So she has one more book that we're putting together, and
okay.
but it is quite a fascinating read. And she's got everything. she's got all the evidence. She's got everything. So she needs to get a movie made or something.
I was going to say, I can easily see a documentary coming out of this book, especially that it's her whole life story. She understands the way it happened, the message. What I find interesting about Nancy's stories that you just mentioned, Jeff, is that the information received pertained to what's going on today, right?
Yeah,
She was already giving information.
It didn't mean anything in the 60s. It really didn't mean anything in the 70s. You know, it was really hardly anything in the 80s. And, you know, she's lost friendships over the years and stuff. But, I mean, she's a real deal. And it's definitely something to look at. You know, I wouldn't recommend it because I did the book, you know, but the story is so real that it's like, God damn.
Okay. So looking at the story, for example, like somebody's life story, she comes forward with it. I'm working with this other client who also she's a star traveler, she's a time traveler, and coming together and pulling so much information, which her story is being turned into a movie as we speak. And I love that because this is where we're going right now. We're going to see more and more of, you know, real life experience like Nancy's or my other client or this woman I met in San Francisco, California. And just to see that if you put all the pieces together, that the information, the experience that she brought, that they bring with them, that person like Nancy in that case or others, it's like pulling keys, like pieces of the puzzle we bring together, and we understand that we're forming a much, much larger conscious grid to which we are evolving. And especially right now where we're moving into so much planetary changes, global changes, and we are profoundly changing. How many of you feel that we are, you know, profoundly changing? It's like we're no longer in the same blueprint, if you want. We're no longer in the same vibrational state as we were, because we are moving along with the earth. So there's a question already for you, Jeff, about Nancy. Kathy is asking, who initially abducted her? Do we know who was interacting with her?
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, it was a reptilian race. But it wasn't a bad race. They're very loving. You know, of course, there's always good and bad in everything, but this particular reptilian race, the reptilian dude said to call him Mister. So she refers to him as Mister. She's got a picture of him. You know, she drew the picture and everything. He's got a cape. Why they have a cape is beyond me, but it's got to be some sort of significance of authority. So, but yeah, it was a reptilian race, a very, very benevolent race. So, and sometimes he comes to her, you know, and gives her messages and stuff, but it's quite an interesting experience.
So do you think that they're coming, that positive, benevolent aspect of the reptilian come to her, Nancy, are we talking about right now, come to her to help and helping like with the ascension process, understanding what's going on the planet? What is your sense about that?
It is just my opinion, but I mean, I've been studying this crap for a long time, and I was always under the impression that the reptilian races were bad. Okay, but that is definitely not the case. So they're definitely here to help us. I think they really do need us to be unified because we're an important part of everything going around. Believe it or not, I know we're just Earth humans, you know, but to them, life is sacred. You know, we don't think it is because we have so many wars and stuff. And I know that they have wars too, but they look at us as we have to protect these guys at all costs, no matter what. You know, they can fight amongst themselves, but they can't destroy themselves. So
interesting.
But what's interesting too about this, I mean, not to talk about Nancy all the time, but the reptilians did have a craft. They had a big cylindrical interior craft, and it just hovered over their house. So that was interesting too. They got pictures of it.
You got a picture of it?
The Novi police have pictures of it. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They got everything. It's in the Hall of Records and stuff, everything. So,
okay.
And as soon as that happened, she, had a visit from Selfridge National Guard base, and they interviewed her parents and made sure that they didn't say nothing for years. Nothing. So, I don't know if it was a Men in Black, but you never know nowadays. It could have been, but back in the '60s, I don't think there was any made mention of a Men in Black.
No.
And everything, so.
Yeah, especially back in the '60s. But
this was actually before the Benny Hill case, Benny and Barney Hill. Okay, so this is like a year before them, but it went unnoticed because she was a child. They wanted to hush everything up. But yeah, check out that book.
What is it called again?
That one's called Enlightened Chapters of My Life. But there's one prior to that called Symbiosis, which is an introduction to of how everything happened, and Chapters of My Life is during all of the interactions, and she just recalls all this stuff. So, and she's got audio transcripts of the transgression, everything. So I got that all stored here. So in case something happens, at least somebody has a copy of something.
Yeah, exactly. A backup. Absolutely. But that's very interesting. Look at the Benny Hill case, for example. Is it not? I don't know if that's their name, Benny Hill. Do you know if that's their real name?
Yeah.
Because I have a friend of mine who interacted with that couple. The couple who we had abductions, and they talk about it back in, I think it was back like the '60s, about.
Yeah, it was
and
early,
yeah,
like 60s.
Just earlier. Yeah, maybe late '50s, '60s. But I have a friend who actually were able to talk with them. He was a friend of, I think, is the niece on the side of the family, and they were able to connect with them and talk to them about their experience. And he still, today he's in his 80s, but he still remember having these interactions with that couple that became very famous for their abduction case, which is, absolutely amazing. We have a question here. I know what's happening with Gilliland. Well, that's what we're doing, Paula. We are bringing other type of topics to allowing James to join. We haven't heard from James. We hope that nothing happened. It has happened to one of our previous guests. Guess what? A family emergency occurred, and he was able to join us at the end of the show, and we were very grateful for that. So we're hoping that nothing happened. So let's send good positive thoughts and prayers and energy to James, hoping that nothing is preventing him from coming to the show today. He knew about today. He was very much looking forward to be with us and connect with all of us. So we're really hoping that nothing is getting in the way. So let's just send really positive energies and thoughts to support James. And we're still hoping that he'll be able to be on the show as it was scheduled for today. And so let's do a clearing. How about that? How about we do a clearing right now? We'll gather. Let's stay as a group. Let's keep our quantum space open, and let's clear whatever it may seems to be, blocking, whether energy, whether it's intentions. Let's just open the grids and send out this. We're going to send a telepathic message to James. How about that? Would like to do that as a group? Let's connect. Let's converse together, and we'll send a heart-based telepathic communication to James Gilliland, and says, if anything on your hand, you need assistance with, we are here to support you. How about that, everyone? That sounds good? Yes, we got the very thumbs up in there. Absolutely. You never know. What's behind all of this. So let's connect. Let's do it. We have the power to do that. We are very powerful. Exactly. Let's do that beautiful kind of meditation we've done. Yes, I'm getting a lot of yes. Super, Simon. Perfect. Cindy, Paula. Already, Janet. Yay. Thank you so much. Perfect. So let's do it. We have the power to uplift mountains together. So how we're going to do this? First, make yourself you're very comfortable. As much as you can, feet on the ground, if possible. If not, it's okay. It's about the connection, the intention. And so we're going to, let's concentrate, let's gather our heart towards James Gilliland. We respect him, we love him. We're here to support as a community of light. So if you would just please go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Beautiful. And with your eyes closed, let's just take a few deep breaths. Let's clear the lower mind. Let go of any excess of thoughts, vibrational energy that comes from others, the collectives, letting go of the day's events, and feel that you are fully immersed into this beautiful quantum space of healing love, golden light. We also connecting with the intelligence of our star families, including my collective of the Arcturians, the Pontes, bringing the high level of the Syrians. We also invite our brothers and sisters from Lyra, the Enlightened Pleiadians. Of course, we call for the Andromedans, which we honor and love. And all the beautiful star beings, all the way to Alpha Centauri, and many others, known and unknown by names. And especially let's call upon the power of your higher self. So as you breathe through your heart, breathe in love and exhale light. So breathe in love, exhale light. And feel that from wherever you are, we are together right now in this quantum space of pure light. You can feel and see that you're projecting your light body consciousness within the group, within a quantum space. Just feel it, imagine it. It's a projection that comes from your heart in your light body consciousness. And let your luminous form, your true essence, just to come forth as you keep breathing love and exhaling light. Yes, beautiful. Let it flow. Let your body relax. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders and your neck. Feel the flow of the light through your spine, opening the midline of your body, all the way to the pelvic floor, down your hips and your legs. We're breathing in cosmic harmony, cosmic peace, within our quantum space of pure light. There are many within our space right now in our light body consciousness. Beautiful. Feel your energy and also pay attention to the others, your other brothers and sisters who've come also in the light body consciousness. We are a very large group. We also have the beings of light and our star families that are joining their voices, joining their light with us. Can you feel it in your heart and your being? Yes, beautiful. Let it flow. And now let's concentrate. Imagine James Gilliland right here, also in his light body within our quantum space. And we connect to him with love, light, respect, integrity. And now what we're going to do right now is just let's project from our heart love and light directly projected at James, helping him, resolving whatever may be going on, uplifting his spirit, his body, his light. We have the power to remove any obstacle, any lower frequencies, and transmute them into higher frequencies of light. And we are victorious in our power, in our unified voices. So just keep sending love and light to James Gilliland, all the way to the ECETI Ranch, deep into the land, in the heart chakra of everyone who was assisting on the ranch. And keep breathing love and exhaling light. Yes, beautiful. Let it flow. So let's take a moment to concentrate on light and send it to James, to the ranch, to the land, to the trees, deep into the core of the earth, all the way into the sky and beyond the earth plane. And see, feel, or imagine this translucent dome of light around the ECETI Ranch. Beautiful rainbow light connecting to the rays of power of the universe, uplifting every life form. And we ask for the assistance of the realms of light, the councils of light, to amplify our loving thoughts, energy, and power by 1,000-fold. And we call James to come to us today. Let's remove any negativity, obstacle out of the way, and let everything be transmuted back to the light, into higher octaves of light and expression. Let's take another deep breath, breathing in love, exhaling light. Beautiful. Remember that you are a very powerful being of light, which is transcend your human personality, persona, traits. It goes beyond. We are one unified family of light. And we are transmitting light codes to James Gilliland and everyone on the ranch. Always serving the highest and best of all. Beautiful. One more breath for the light. Bring in love. Exhale light. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. You're welcome to open your eyes and gently return into your physical form, fully aligned, grounded, balanced, and refreshed. And still within the quantum space that we have collectively created for all of us. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for your service. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being there and doing this together. How does it feel? How do you have you received the energy? I felt and I saw the whole thing. I really, really felt everything. Any experience everybody wants to share? Well, I literally saw a dome, a translucent dome of energy. It almost looks like a soap bubble, but that translucent energy was reflecting the 7 powers of the ray of light onto the rainbow bridge, connecting directly into James Gilliland's soul and being. And also I saw the ECETI Ranch, the mountain, the trees, the consciousness. I saw the roots into the earth. I saw the entire, blessed, enlightened, calm, connected, felt very good. Pretty powerful. Heart is pulsing. Wow, that was beautiful. Yes, and I have good notes on how to do it again in the future. Good, Steve, perfect. Heard his voice that was fading, coming in and out. Paula, that was amazing. Well, thank you. Lots of energy, saw the rainbow of colors. Thank you, Susan. Simon, a beautiful butterfly. Yes, that's incredible. So what we're doing is that we are uplifting. We're moving beyond any form of obstacle. We're moving any form of resistance. We are transcending all of this. We're just creating powerful wavelength of energetics, love, healing love from the power of our heart, the power of who we are. And look what we can do as we reunify our voices and we come together. And this is exactly the kind of energy that we are experiencing more and more as we are transcending into a higher form of living within the fifth dimensional consciousness, the fifth dimensional reality. Makes sense, right, everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Divine Fractals, I always love your meditation, Vivian. Thank you so much. Quickly lift up. Yes. Imagining working out perfect fine like he was already here. Yes, exactly. Well said, the doctors. Well said. And I know you felt your practice, you felt this loving detachment to be able to be together. Yes. So we have a good question from Mary, and I would like to ask this question so we can talk about this. Marie is asking, if everyone is starseed from somewhere else, or are some individual originally from the earth? That's a fantastic question, Mary. Yes, some of the souls are considered more earthbound. That means that you feel very comfortable on this earth. You can be a starseed and still feel very comfortable on this earth plane, while other starseed will feel more like stranger in a strange land. That's because the premise of your soul, you have this more earthbound connection to the earth as a point of origin, and then your soul still has traveled throughout the multiverse, and you may have had many multiple lifetimes in other systems, which you have to perfect yourself. At the same time, ultimately, you feel very at home on this earth. So that's a great question. Absolutely. Does that make sense to you, Jeff?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because not everybody's a starseed. That is a contract that is agreed upon before you're born.
Yes.
In this timeline.
Yes. And also, what does it mean to be a stranger? What does it mean is that you're recognizing that your Earth, the Earth plane, Gaia, or the solar system, may not be the place where you feel the most at ease from. If I look at my own Akashic records, I only had 35 lifetimes on this Earth. Now, if you given how old a soul can be, that's a spark. So I've come here only at certain very precise historical timeline, very significant timeline, or significant historical time. So the fact that I'm here right now, at the soul level, tells me that we are looking at something absolutely magnificent and paramount. So only 35 lifetime on this planet. So I'm pretty proud of how I've learned to adapt, given the fact I have not been here too many times. Just sharing from personal expressions. But yes, and of course, ultimately, we all come from Prime Creator. We all come from Supreme Source. And we have all journeyed throughout the multiverse and beyond in different shape and form to continue to learn, to expand, to perfect ourselves in the higher form, in the supreme form. So we're only looking at starseed perspective, hybrid, earthbound, from more closer to this incarnation, helping us to understand. It's like looking at your family tree, right? You know that your the roots are much, much deeper than that. And ultimately go back to oneness. Of course it is. But it helps you to gain perspective, to help you understand the perspective of your soul blueprint and who you are in this incarnation. Does that make sense to you, Jeff?
A little bit, yeah. From your perspective, it's kind of it's interesting because you're talking from an Arcturian perspective, which is cool.
Indeed. Indeed. What does the Ponte have to say about all of this? Let's talk about a Ponte.
About what? About the incarnations, timelines, what?
About it being a star seed, people are saying, how do I know you're a star seed, for example? How will you know that you're a star seed, that you from, come from Sirius, for example, Andromedan, Pleiades, and so forth? What is the perspective on star seed from a Ponte perspective?
The Ponte's perspective. Let me see. Okay, guys. And see, Sarah's the one that's an expert at all this stuff. So she says that not everybody is a starseed. There's selective traits that they look at for any given person, and she showed me.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me images of lists, and she's pointing at the lists that they look at.
Okay.
So if you, I would assume, looking at the lists, that these are the traits that they look for, or the traits that they put inside of you.
Okay.
Okay, and then as time goes on, right? As time goes on, as they select you, you will get activated, so that you this is going to be in the other book I'm going to be putting for the Ponte, but we had this discussion many months ago about, they have, like, I would say, just as a number, say 500 star seeds, but not all 500 are going to be activated. You can be, but giving at a certain time where you're at, where you're living, what is needed to get done, they will activate you. But in the end, everybody will be activated. So in my particular case, they needed me at this time of my life, not in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It wasn't necessary, but in the mid 2000s, that's when they activated me to do this, whatever we're doing here. So other people, they get activated sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just not the Ponte. I mean, they Zetas do it, Arcturians do it. Everybody gets activated within their own family. So like a Ponte cannot activate somebody that is a Palladian or an Arcturian or whatever. It's just their specific group.
Okay.
Okay, does that make any sense? Is that right, guys? Right? You show me all that stuff there?
Beautiful.
Right? So.
Yeah. I like the way they talk to you. We have a question for the Ponte for you from Kathy. Kathy said, Jeff, what do the Ponte call or label those who are not a star seed?
Just Earth human. But I mean, they don't know if a Palladian or an Arcturian or an Andromedan seeded somebody. I mean, they don't know all that. They just know of their own group that they're doing. Does that answer the question?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Simon is asking, can you describe what activation, please?
Well, in activation, what happened to me is that this is what happened to me. I had an image from Jerudi that said, "Do you want to meet?" Just words. Do you want to meet? And I was dreaming. I said, "Sure." Well, during that night, I found myself on my chair in my living room, and I was just like, I'm just sitting there, and then she appears in the bathroom. I don't know why, because of confined space, but there were two blue beings behind her. And so I walk in there, and there she is without the headdress. It was just her. She had a little ridge on her forehead, and she looked very, very close to what Stu portrayed in the picture over there. Very, very close to that. And I asked if I could hug her, and I hugged her. And all this information came rushing towards me, and it was a life-changing deal. But after that, then I understood what happened is there's a lot of things that have to happen. You have to raise your vibration, which we're learning how to do that with meditation. Then there's a frequency alignment that has to happen. And once the frequency alignment happens, then there's a resonance that comes in, and that allows information to be transferred back and forth. Without that resonance, you don't get anything. Okay, but you gotta have the frequency too. Okay, it's like pretty much like a fax machine. We got a handshake and a kiss off. You hear all those, right? That has to happen, but on a vibratory type of fashion for us. But once that is activated, and you're a changed dude. I mean, you can meditate quicker. I can feel them anywhere standing around me. They're standing right here. They're there. So to me, that's what activation means. I mean, I don't know how somebody else could explain theirs. I'm sure that there's other different types, but this is the one that happened to me. So that is my take on activation. Somebody could be hit with a lightning bolt for all I know. That could be their activation. You know, they have no idea. You know, they could be a near-death experience, and they could experience somebody in that realm, and they could activate you that way. So
True.
That's how it happened to me.
Beautiful. That I can feel it the way you describe it. The way you describe it, I can tell it was absolutely perfect in resonance with you at that moment. And you know, you can tell you were very much ready. You were right in alignment with that, the way it happened for you. It's perfect.
That was
Perfect.
I was back home again, and I never wanted to leave that. And I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do it again, but it was the damnedest feeling that is just amazing.
Yes.
I wish everybody could feel that.
Yes.
It'd be a much better world.
Good point. Good point, Jeff. Like I said, I can feel your activation. And what does activation means? And it's again, we always invite to let be fluid mentally with semantics. And activation can be just a point of awakening, a point when you're moving into a different vibrational state, when you come into your own realization. So, you know, there's different way to describe activation. So we invite you just mentally to listen to that with your higher mental energies. And the activation or your sense of awakening could be also all your life. If you look at your life, your own life experience, you can tell there's always been point of awakening, realization, coming to your own, opening. That's a form of activation when you start to realize or you gain higher consciousness. Somebody was asking about how my activation took place. In my case, it's been I call it an ongoing state of beingness. And instead of being like a big activation there have been some point in time on my timeline that I have received specific downloads that takes me to the next level, opening my next level of gift. And as always, it's an ongoing process. So think about this way, that it's a constant unfolding of a state of beingness when you are evolving, getting more energy, getting more consciousness, you're accessing to higher form of consciousness connections, your gifts. It can be different from activation like Jeff just described. In my case, it's been this way my entire life. It's been an ongoing process. It's more of a sense of beingness. Because of being has a turn hybrid, I am deeply blended with my collective. It's been an ongoing process, and they knew that as I reach at a level of understanding, on the level of also information, life experience, wisdom, they said, okay, now that junction is ready for the next level, and then you can receive the new downloads. It can be done during your sleep. It can be done just brushing your teeth, and it happens. I mean, we have stories of people just being in the day-to-day mundane, and something just happened. They have a voice, they have a presence, they have a visitation, they have a downloads. Something happened to them and it activated them. I remember the story of a truck driver, was very mundane, very 3D, driving truck, long roads, very engaged into what he's doing with his family and all of this. And during one of the long trip he was going, I think he was going from coast to coast or something like that. He had a profound awakening as he was driving his truck. he felt the presence of this being and engaged into a conversation, and then something, something changed his life, like almost like a light bulb went on while he was driving the truck. So when he pulled over, he went like, "What's going on with me? I can feel like my entire world is shifting." That's because he was going through an activation. He was going through an awakening moment at that point. And I think that was very inspirational to hear something like this. That's why I always said, you can be washing your dishes, you can be doing the grocery, and something just comes at that time. So trust that. We have a few questions for us, actually, Jeff. So let's get to it, shall we? Right? Um, asking, the doctor is asking, how would you get into contact with a Ponte? So that's for you.
I get in contact?
How would you get into contact with a Ponte?
Well, first, I always said, and Tolkien keeps telling me this, not to say standing in your energy, because that's a Zeta term. He doesn't like me to use that. He always says develop your inner light. But it's the same thing. To me, it's the same thing. But he doesn't want me to say that. So develop your inner light. Okay. You just have to meditate, and that preps your body, that preps everything. And you don't have to talk to the Ponte. You can talk to anybody. You can communicate to anybody. So to get in touch with a Ponte specifically, I don't know if you could say, like, I want to get over the Ponte, because it might not be what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
The Ponte existed 10 years ago. It was like, I just thought there was just like 4 or 5, but there's thousands of different types of races. So it just so happens that we just brought the Ponte to the forefront, but there's many, many, many different types of them. And they're an offshoot of the Sasani type, the Sasani type of race. A much older one than Bashar, much older. So to answer his question, I would just meditate, follow that book, follow the 101 primer, and read that Inviting ET book. That's a good base to understand yourself, to get in touch with anybody. And you'll know. But, be careful what you wish for, because once that happens, they will not leave you. And sometimes in the ass, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's like, guys, just leave me alone. But they're there. Once you accept them, and you guys got a real good relationship, they will be with you all the time.
I know how that feels.
My room is crowded with these guys. I don't know if you guys can see anything on a camera, but they're just like, they're standing here. They're just like that's how you know where your kids are. You know where your dog is. You know where things are. I know where they're at because I can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope that
it's so very true.
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Then you wish you didn't have it. Because people fall in love with the idea, not knowing that, when these guys want something done, like when they want me to do something, or Lavinia, good point, they're relentless, because you signed up for it. And to them, it's the most important thing. And they'll keep at you. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Just like Sarah, she's on me all the time about this next book. And I don't have the time. And she'll just stand there and cross her arms and look at me like, what do I got to do to convince him we got to get that book done? I she'll stare. I'm like, man, I'm not ready. Or I'll be sleeping, and she'll put her face like, Jeff D. And I'm like, get away. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
I got stories, but, geez, oh man. So be careful what you wish for.
Especially with the Ponte, right?
I love them to death, but they can be a pain in the butt.
Well, let's just say I have a different relationship with my star family, but yes, I can appreciate what you're coming from. So that was a great answer. Thank you so much, Chef.
Yeah, leave my socks alone too.
Well, they're very interactive, and I remember when they come and they play with our cat, I can literally hear footprints on the carpet, and they're, some of my crystal will be misplaced, or let's say that some of the decor will be rearranged, and I can see that the vibration, the energy that they leave behind is completely different from my Octane collective, which is a whole different level of intercommunications, presence, exchange. I'm in my cases, if for some reason at any given moment I have an impression and it's just an impression that they're no longer here, I panic. I'm like, are you still here? I can hear Father says, of course we are. And it's just complete opposite for me. It's like, ooh, I love that collective feeling. It's like I'm moving around with my team. Always says, who loves me loves my Arcturian family too, because we're come as a package deal. So it's really completely different opposite feelings. So that's fascinating to me to listen to you. We have several more questions. So if it's okay with you, we'll move to the next one. Good. Victoria is asking a very interesting question. She said that she did a study a while back ago, and she asking why in each decade, like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so forth, the ships that comes, the spaceship that we see, why do they look like the decor of that particular decade or that particular timeline? I never noticed that, but I think it's a fascinating question that she's asking. I know there's a correlation with the timeline that they come here and visit where the collective consciousness is at. But it seems like the ships look different and take on the shape or the form or the adapt according to the decade they're coming in. Have you noticed anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have a theory about that. I think that because some of those Palladian ships are very, they've got lights, ornamental, this and that. But I believe that, space folds upon itself. It's very fluid. It's like a fabric, right? And I always notice that within like a 50-year time period, there's an increase of craft of different types, right? And then there's not that much. And the scientists say that this space or the universe is expanding, it's contracting. No, it's expanding. No, it's contracting. Well, actually, it is moving in such a way that they can travel quicker. Okay, and the UMO explain that in detail, which is really, really cool. How the universe moves itself so they could travel quicker. So at a certain decade, certain types of ships are able to come here quicker. Okay, and it doesn't fold for everybody. It's folding all different types. Different multiverses are in flex, and I believe that's how. What you see, like a round ships, you see flat ones, you see long ones, you see all different types, triangular ones, whatever. And I believe that's how that is happening. All depends on the flux of the space. They could be from different universes, and that's just able to get here quicker.
Well, that's definitely depending on who's coming, what type of conscious assistant technology they're utilizing. There's different ways to look at it. Personally, that topic feel very neutral to me. I have no energy or no coming in terms of each decades have their spaceship, and I feel like it's more of a matter of timelines and level of consciousness evolution on the planet at the time where who's coming at that particular timeline at that moment. I just thought it was a fascinating question that Victoria asked, and it's a good observation.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know also that our time isn't like everybody else's time. So I mean to like to the Umo, we've only been here for about 3 months on this planet from their perspective. But it's been like thousands of years for us because this time is different. Even though that they have time, we have time, our time is different than theirs.
That is for sure. And it's one thing we are transcending beyond is a third dimensional timeline construct. I know that's so, it's such a sub-matrix. It's very, very concealed, very linear, which is non-existent when you start to working with transdimensional or interdimensional intelligence. That kind of linear timeline, it's absolutely obsolete. It's non-existent. So we are moving beyond that paradigm. So at this point of time, looking at the energy of the chat room, I just want to bring a loving reminder in terms of, remember that you are very powerful. You are a essence of divine light, and you've come voluntarily to this planet at this time of wherever you came to, which timeline or generational line you came through the planet. If you came to the 50s, the 60s, even the 40s, or even the years 2000, you have to you need to trust within yourself that you came back to the planet at the most appropriate time for you and what you've come to do in alignment with your own divine soul blueprint and your divine soul design, as we call it. So whether you are being activated, whether you go through activation, awakening, blossoming, like well, we always see you blossoming all the time, and whatever development you're moving through, you know that it's always in alignment with your inner light, and nothing is forcing on you an activation or an awakening. This is something that is much more aligned with your part of your divine part of yourself, whether it's your higher self, your oversoul, your supreme self, and so forth. So I just want to bring that energy back in terms of giving you empowerment, giving you also a sense that you can really connect within yourself and ask on a day-to-day, ask your higher self and other part of your divinity within you, show me who I am. I am ready now to embrace the next level of activation, whether it's your gift, your inner light, whether it's your inner talents, whether it's also the next phase of your spiritual path. What is my next level of service? So that allows you to stay in alignment with who you are. And when you bring back your energy, your frequency, your way of living, thinking, feeling, connecting within your light, it really changes everything. It allows you to stay in more pristine connections and still having a human experience. That's the thing about being on the planet. You have to honor the fact that we're also having a human experience. And that aspect is also important. There's a lot of wisdom, knowledge, experience that we can enjoy. We can also extract from it. So that's the invitation in terms of, connecting with who's with you, who's your team of light, who's your guardians, connecting with, if you are connected with different star beings. And we call them star beings as a label, and we understand that it's just a label. But connecting with other form of intelligence. And Paula is saying to you, Jeff, and I think it's loving when she said, "Can you just send boundaries with your Ponte group? Can you just send some healthy boundaries?"
I actually tried that, but they know how to penetrate that stuff. They send a bunch of love, and it just destroys the boundary.
Yes.
I mean, I do set boundaries, but I don't know. It seemed like they could just like walk through it every time they wanted. So maybe I'm not good enough at doing a boundary. Who the hell knows? I'm gonna have to work on that.
Well, it's another beautiful lesson that says, hey guys, I'm the one here in physical incarnation. I'm the one who has the organic physical body. I need to rest. I need, the space. I need to get, so maybe, that you're helping them to teach them what it feels like and what it is like to have a human experience in physical form. That could be also part of the teaching. Who knows, right? Right. Okay. So we have a beautiful question from Susan. She said, would you caution people to stay heart-centered versus being in the mind when attempting to make contact? Like whether it's connections with star beings, support, asking for help, ascension questions. would we recommend people to stay heart-centered versus being in the mind when doing this?
Oh yeah, you have to be heart-centered in order for your intentions to be anything. Remember, intentions are the connection for telepathy, and they can pick up on your intentions before you even know that you sent it out. So it's got to come from the heart.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Being heart-centered is really returning to that pristine divine way of living. And, we have so many level of intelligence that the heart carry, the gateway of your heart. It's also what we invite you to bridge your heart to your higher mental faculties. And when you are in that junction of living, can you imagine the potential, what you really can co-create, co-manifest, change energies into your life and even aspect of your life, like your communication, for example, how you feel you can relate to others, how you feel that you have your place here in this life and on this earth, regardless of where your soul has traveled to. So living in the heart is where we are returning to living in greater wisdom, balancing the sacred polarity of the masculine and the feminine together. We're returning into living into integrity, and also the heart is also the connection to where we are reaching our light body ascension and returning to living into higher realms of light. And the same thing when you ask for assistance, guidance, connecting with star beings, different form of intelligence, it's always from the light consciousness. I always give my protocol in case of doubt. I always says, ask 3 times in a row, are you of the highest light? And only that of the highest light is welcome into my sacred circle and connecting with me. So it's always that return. Your heart has so much power, and look how much your heart has been also so much activated, solicited. Your heart is being pulled emotionally, constantly pulled on, whether it's news, whether it's event, whether it's social media. There's always lots of heart energy, and sometimes it's designed to pull you or to distract you sideways from your path. So the heart is really a very important aspect of who you are and who we are returning to in ways of living. Absolutely. I just want to express my gratitude right now. I'm very grateful only for you, Jeff, and the Ponte. I'm also very grateful for amazing community. I mean, I know that many people have discovered us from other places, and from wherever source has led you to us, we are grateful for you. We want to thank you for staying with us today. I know that we were, you know, uh, waiting for James Gilliland to come, and we did a powerful gathering of the group to send out message to James and making sure that whatever is happening, that he is safe, protected. He has also the higher guidance and a higher form of resolutions that prevent him from coming to the show today. We hold him in the highest light. And just that aspect of what we've done earlier on the show, and for those who join us later, we invite you to go back to that portion and still contribute to the light. I felt that really is what really is bringing us together more and more. And I feel that today, Jeff, and everyone listening, and everyone who will be listening, that today was a golden opportunity to show that we can extract the best of who we are and what we can do and shift things around. How we were happy to welcome James Gilliland to the show. Something happened. It is still unknown, but something happened, and yet we have extracted the best out of it, and look at the outcome. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a definite reason, because he was definitely amped up about coming in here. So there's something going on.
Yeah, that's really that's really absolutely amazing, and so that's why I want to express gratitude for everyone. Um, you know, and keep it simple. I know people are always asking, how do I connect to the heart? It's your true nature. It's just allow every day the connections. You can do meditation. You can just take 5 minutes just to breathe into your heart and ask your heart, how can I support you today? Huh? What state? Where are you? What am I support? How can I support you? And if you make decisions, making choices, you need to choose the directions. Instead of just asking your mind, you can also ask, what does my heart have to say about this? How does it feel to my heart? And that's ways, very simple ways, simple tools for you to return to that energy, that space. Remember, this is who we are. We're simply returning to that pristine place, different making choices, make conscious choices of how you interact with each other, how you contribute every day. Where do you invest your energy on a day-to-day? Are you so invested in the mind that you just simply consciously forgotten or omitting to ask your heart? Your heart is still there. It never goes anywhere. So it's just a way of returning to the simplicity of rediscovering who we are more and more, and co-creating also from a standpoint of community. And this is also an aspect of what the higher fifth dimensional reality is about, is we're turning more into an organic way of living and connecting with ourselves. So absolutely. Let's see here, and I know there's a lot of activity going on in the chat room. I can barely keep up with everything because I love to connect with you all, and many of you have shared experiences. Some of you said that they did some training and they saw some symbols. Whatever you're doing, if you take some trainings, whether you're training for your third eye, intuition, whether it's telepathic communications, being learning how to be a cosmic ambassador and so forth. Whatever you do, at some point, remember that, or ask yourself, is these teachings, this training aligned with me right now? Am I ready for this? And if you feel that energy coming in feel too strong, you have symptoms, and what we call ascension symptoms. Your physical body provides feedback, whether it's burning sensation, whether you feel like compressed, then just ask your higher self to ease those symptoms and only extract at that point of time the key element of that training, that teaching, that meditation was about for you. And as you grow and as you continue to expand, and your body also physically become more a conduit of frequency, you're going to be able to hold more, you're going to be able to sustain more. So trust yourself and ask yourself, okay, at this point of time, I have enough and I've extracted what I needed to. Nature is fascinating. I need to share that with you. Right now, out of my window, my office, this bird landed right next to my window with a branch in its beak. Now, what is not like the symbology of, reaching out with an olive branch, a branch of peace, a branch of, I don't know, I felt that, and it's this dove, this beautiful dove, to my window with its branch in its peak. So we honor nature. I wanted to share that with everyone because I feel that the synchronicity of this, was absolutely amazing. So just want to say, this is a time of healing deep soul wounds. It's a time to healing also wounds sustained into the earth historical, archives, whether it's different countries, different wars. It's a time when we are reconciliating with our past, being able to let go of those wounds, extracting what has been learned, and also what the wisdom behind it, so we can move forward. And then moving forward, yes, building a nest. Building a new nest for everyone on the planet, building new grids alongside with the earth. So absolutely. Staying positive, right? What it means is that go back to your light. In case of doubt, choose yourself. I choose my light. My light is guiding me along the way. So absolutely. Well, I feel like at this point of time, depending on what you would like to add, Jeff, I feel that would be perfect for today, given the fact that we have to turn around very quickly and interact and be with all, everyone, and doing this work that we've done, and amazing discussion. Do you feel that anything else maybe your group would like to add before we wrap up for today?
Yes, actually, hang on one second here. Sarah wants to talk about the collective conscience when people are trying to meditate, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on a minute. She wants to let everybody know when the Ponte are out, whatever, think of them as a TV station. Okay, she showed me an antenna, and they're always out there, and it's up to you to tune into them. Okay, much like a TV, because the TV is broadcasting, and you turn on your TV, and you can watch TV, right? So when you're ready to watch TV, you turn it on. So when you're ready to communicate with them, this is for that guy that asked that question earlier. They're always out there. You just have to tune into them. And that goes for all the different races.
Yes, I like that. I like that. That's a great tool. Thank you both, you and Ponte. That's awesome.
Yeah, she showed me an antenna is broadcasting, and they're everywhere. And then you go on your TV, and then you can tune into them and watch it. And that's like meditating, and you can tune into them at any time because they're always are. And that gives you your personal space still. When you invite them in, when you connect with them, that's what you're showing me. Okay, I get it now. I got it. Got it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, she's so smart. God damn, she's smart. They're all smart,
And we love them. We love them so much.
Yeah.
All of our very grateful for our family, including my Arcturian team and those we connect to. And there's so much presence around us, in us, around us. We are truly part of a very diversified multiverse. It's incredible the amount of interconnections, the amount of love, the amount of frequency that we're constantly blending into each other, like the infinity symbol, right? The infinity symbol that just blends, constantly vibrating with one another. So yeah, that was a great analogy, Simon said. Thank you. Absolutely. We're very thrilled too. We are thrilled that we've been able to interact with, with all of you more, having a guest, and somebody mentioned that earlier. I think Steve said that. Having a guest is wonderful. At the same time, having this format is also very wonderful. It's really great. It's allowing us to have this direct interactions and allowing also more space for both our collective and beyond to bring in and have this interconnection with each other. And I love the analogy. I love the wisdom. I love, the experiences that we shared. So I think this is a really great way to do this again. Well, there's a reason why James couldn't come today. We know that we will definitely go connect with James, and rest assured, everyone, that we will, bring him back, and this time on the show, so we can have our interaction, our time with them within our quantum space. We love them, of course, and we're very grateful for all of you. Thank you, all of you, for having so much beautiful in exchange. I love the fact also how the community has been supporting one another, answering each other's questions, supporting with experiences, very uplifting. We're very grateful. Of course, it's a constant exchange of love and light with each other. Well, we will have a guest next time for sure. Tune in, please, next time on Sunday, May 16. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. May 16, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific Daytime Light, Pacific time. We're going to have Doug Hold. Is that how you say his name? Doug Hold?
Doug Ald, yes.
Okay.
Tremendous actor. And he can do some amazing things. And yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. He's an artist? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, he paints oils, and he just captures that image, and it's just he does some breathtaking stuff.
Wow, I can wait to welcome Doug to the show. So
and
we will.
So he brings it right to the canvas, so it's really interesting.
Wow, I love that. It's almost like creating a spiritual imprint to the heart right on the canvas.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can already feel it. That's awesome. Beautiful. Well, Sunday, May 16, 11 a.m. Pacific time, from wherever you are, whether it's across the states, in other countries, everywhere on the planet, remember, we are ultimately one family of light. We are in this together. And remember that you are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And so return to the simplicity of living life in pristine energy that is through your heart. So on behalf of my co-host and friend, Jeff and I, we are very blessed and grateful to have you. And what a very, very specific, very unique show we had. I loved every minute of it. It was incredible, right?
Because we're here for the people, man.
We sure are.
Don't matter. We'll have fun any other way. So
You better believe it. Well said. We're here for the people. We'll have fun either way. I'm connecting. Yeah, perfect. Well, it's been amazing, and we're grateful that you stay with us. And we will see you on May 16. And of course, remember to subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, so you can get alert to upcoming show. We also post free meditation every month. Make sure you also like our page on Facebook, the Infinite Star Connections. We're here to be of service, and together we are definitely dedicating to continuing and beyond and beyond, right? Beautiful. We will see you next time. Much love to you.